Hello and welcome to this episode of the Reset Podcast. I'm your host, Laura Munoz. This is part of my 29 Days of Magic series, which I've now been doing for, I think, 6 years. And each day during Black History Month, I interview a phenomenal Black woman and hear their phenomenal stories. And so we've got Erica Taylor Haskins, who is the co-founder of Tinsel Experiential, and she's also their chief relationship officer. So welcome to 29 Days of Magic here at the Reset Podcast. This is going to be light and breezy. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So first question is slightly changed from previous years, but still lots of fun. So Erica, what's your all-time favorite job?
This is such a funny question because, you always want to say, like, I love all my children equally. Over the years, Tinsel is a female-founded led agency. We're backed by the Stagwell Network. For many, many years, we worked with really glossy clients like Spotify and doing these really baller banging parties in New York. I love those. Getting to do events like our 10-year anniversary at the New York Public Library, which was on February 20th of 2020. So that was a time, and as super spreader before we knew what that was. But in that moment, I was like, how cool to have our own company party at the New York Public Library. We had tattoos on site before everyone in the world was doing tattoos. It was just really special. But my true answer, and always, I think always will be, is there's an amazing organization called Pizza to the Polls, with an asterisk that I'm really proud to be on their board now as of like last week. This is brand new, hot off the presses. Thank you. But we started working with Pizza to the Polls in 2020. And the way that this came about is one of my very good friends from college connected us with the organization. They had an idea to move their program to a national truck format across the country during the 2020 elections. And the original idea was just one truck across 20 or 25 cities. And we were like, yeah, let's do it. Giddy up. Let's save America, save ourselves. And by the end of the program, it ballooned to almost 300 trucks over 10 days leading up to the election, feeding, caffeinating, hydrating, entertaining people waiting in line to vote, nonpartisan. So no matter who people were voting for, and the way things turned out, But we reached over 1 million people waiting in line to vote that year. It was such an amazing comeback story. It really was our first big program coming out of the pandemic. So on top of the regular event logistics and mechanics of doing a really robust national program, we also had to fold in pandemic precautions, which is brand new.
COVID restrictions.
We learned everything about like civil disobedience and what happens with like electioneering laws. And there's so much that was like such a time capsule of that moment. But to be able to come back, and I always say to use our event superpowers for good, was so awesome. It just felt so empowering and such a recharge after such a hard, heavy moment. So that program started in 2020. It then extended to the 2021 Georgia runoffs. So for, a little good trouble in peace. And again, I always say I hate the success metric, but I love this success metric. As a lot of us know, the state of Georgia then passed provisions about giving people water in line to vote.
So it's all your fault.
We were part of that. We were part of that movement. But, moving forward, we've said now we just know to bake in some extra cash in the operating budget in case we need to nudge somebody away.
Just be like 110 feet versus 100.
Yeah, exactly. But awesome. That for sure is, one of my all-time favorites for sure. So
unbelievable. I mean, it's like impact, timeliness, also event magic, because like you have to do that when you're an events person, where it's like it's a super spreader event that we're basically we're doing, but like, you know what? You gotta go to the polls. So we're gonna figure this out. Yeah. It's funny. Like I think about like the stuff that we did during COVID, and it was like, how to feed people. Like when we did the Sunday suppers for the vaccines, it was like, feed people. If you feed them, they will come.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, obviously things right now are different, but it feels different, same. So a lot of the conversations being had right now is about like, how do we build community? How do we, those of us that are professional gatherers, how do we do that in a way that feels meaningful and powerful and touches a lot of people? That's not just like a party for the sake of having a party.
Well, it starts with, I actually want to do something to help.
Yeah.
Step one.
Just it's small. It's easy. Yeah.
Teeny tiny. And of course it does. And now with you, okay, so obviously you sort of tipped your hand that you are an experiential person. So, with the introduction and what you just did, and why I adore you, because again, same, it's we're all. I always joke about experiential people, like they are the most exciting people to ever know, but they're also the most tired people because like we do all manner of foolishness and we are tired. Because like, what
are you reading my diary? I have to just say,
yes, I have my third eye into your house right now.
I agree with my eyes in the sky, but a friend of mine just texted me just before this recording, and I was like, I'll call you back in 15 minutes. I got to do this recording. A girl is tired, but I'm going to turn it on.
Jazz hands. But yeah, it is. I think there is something truly magical about being in the world of experiential. And again, you don't know unless you've actually been in it. Yeah. So I would love to share you to tell your story about how you got to be where you are right now.
Yeah, man. Oh my goodness. So a million years ago, it seems 16 years ago, I was working in account management and biz dev at an ad agency here in New York City. And as what happens with people in their late 20s, I was like, I don't know if this is what I want to do when I grow up. So I was at cocktail hour with two girlfriends from college, all having the same conversation and just looking for more inspiration. And we thought it would be a really cool, chill, easy hobby to start a business in New York City at the start of the last recession. But here's the thing. A good thing about starting a business, especially at that point in your life, is you don't know better. You don't know what to be afraid of. So we just really.
If you knew now, you'd be like, I would never have done
that. The things I know now. But we went for it. We kind of threw our bodies into the deep end and got some early press. I mean, one of our first big press hits was with a now extinct piece of media called Daily Candy, but they featured
R.I.P. Love them. Oh my gosh, they were the best.
The whole headline of this
them
is
and Domino Magazine.
Picture it. In 2010. But we had this really great press. They featured us in a series of working girls and people to follow and people to support. So we were one of their 29, which is interesting synchronicity. But in any case, our first corporate client was with a brand under L'Oreal. So even just learning like the procurement system, because what is that, was such.
Hey, have you ever been through hell? Yeah.
True trial by fire. And, again, like learning, we have to pay quarterly corporate taxes. That's an interesting thing to know. And I wish someone had told me, okay, cool. We're learning as we go. But in any case, here we are. I feel like I could spend an hour talking through every single milestone, but we really just went for it. We tapped into our network, our Rolodexes, and slowly built a really solid client roster pretty quickly early on. And it grew and grew and grew from there. Around 2018, we got to an inflection point where, after doing it for 8 years or so, we were like, we have to do something big, scary, audacious. And it's either sunset the company or try to join a larger entity to supercharge what we're building here. We weren't quite ready to shut it down. So in a really auspicious time of fall 2019, we entered into conversations with a few different entities about what an M&A would look like, went through the due diligence process. I don't have to recap the whole saga because we all lived it. It's in our bones and our DNA forever. But again, fast forward through a whole life cycle. In 2023, we officially joined the Stagwell network. So again, now we're one of 70 plus agencies within this family holding company, one of just a handful that do events and experiential. And what's been cool is it just really opened up our pool of prospects, of resources, of people that are in our ecosystem, which was part of the whole gig, right? Like we kind of were at a point where we're like, we've talked to everyone we can talk to. We have hit up everyone that could possibly give us a scope, an opportunity. So now being in this network, it's helped leveled us up. It's really helped us grow into the next iteration of who we are as a brand and a company. So now about a year and a half, 2 years in, 2.5 years, what is time? 2 years in, we're really getting in our groove and finding our footing and just kind of looking at 7 levels ahead, what's next down the line.
Awesome. And I think, and I'm glad you shared that, because I think sometimes folks don't understand when they hear the words acquire, join. Oh, does that mean like you're selling a company out? I was like, no, retire.
Once again.
Once again. But also the importance that like what that looks like. And I think, it's important, again, as part of what I do 29 days,
Yeah.
for folks to understand that, like, success in business looks like a lot of different things. And it doesn't always end up with you like owning a company for 50 years and being at the slog of all of doing that. But instead it's like, hey, listen, there's a holding company. We can be supercharged. We have literally talked to everyone that we can talk to. So we have to do that. And I think it's important for folks to understand what that looks like, as opposed to, hey, what does it mean? Why don't you own your company 100% anymore?
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, I mean, there's so many intricacies of this, because often I tell people the story and they're like, oh, so you're not part of your company anymore. And I'm like, no, I am so in there now. And it's new and different and great in a lot of ways, challenging in other ways. I mean, I say in transparency, having worked for nearly 14 years, being our own bosses, and now having tiers of bosses and people to report into and be accountable to is a very different muscle to flex. So, there's a lot there. There's a lot there.
It's always there, but I think it's just we want to show and demonstrate that like we can do a lot of different things a lot of different ways, and there is no one way to build. There's not only one way to be successful or to have tentacles everywhere, which I think, similarly when I went in-house, it's like, okay, well, different muscles have to be used here. But also different opportunities that you just can't get to if you are an army of 5.
Yeah.
But you can if you're an army of 5, if you're part of an army of 5,000.
Yeah.
Like, is just the way that it has to be explained to folks and understand as just part of the journey. There is not one way to make that all happen for you.
100%.
So looking back on all of this, and obviously, having experiential company during COVID, and then ultimately going through acquisition, like what's one thing you have thought about where it's like, I don't know how we're going to get through this, but then you did?
Whew, oh God, one thing.
I mean, so today. Yes.
I would say, to be honest, leading up to the acquisition, we obviously already had revenue goals in place, and we would track it against, monthly goals, quarterly goals, et cetera. In the event that we didn't hit those goals, or if we were like, okay, we set this, but the goalpost can be different because we had the expectation something's going to change, that's a little bit outside of our control now. And again, just mentioning having other people to report into, the wider network and the leadership, that now having a lot of big bosses that, when they say they need a number, they need a number, and that is a number. I think for us, it's been having to be really religious about how we do our reporting, about what's realistic with our revenue goals, the types of contracts we're going after. I mean, again, the last year plus has been such a shakeup with the economy, where even, a lot of our clients have moved around or have been reorged. And so, we're doing outreach and we're doing biz dev and like really close to landing a contract. And then, that person's no longer in their seat and they're talking to us because they want us to hire them. Oh God, what a hard, it's a champagne problem, and what a great problem to have. But to go from having a really great convivial conversation and being like, hell yeah, this person's going to hire me, and we have a great relationship and they're going to be the best client, to being like, oh shit, that opportunity has dissipated. And now not only do I have to fill that hole of money, I want to keep tethered to this person, but the thing that they want to connect about is me hiring them. And how do I say I can't hire them until you give me the money? It's a catch-22. So it's been a really difficult exercise just doing business right now. And I can say that that's probably accurate whether we were in the holding company or not. Like the last couple of years just have been real hard. And even the types of events, like the types of opportunities are being presented to us, just are different scopes or different shapes, different formats that, of course, we can, transfer skills and make it happen. But it just feels like everything is very weighted right now.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Two things. Someone's at the door. I'm going to pause this.
That's not the time.
Hold on.
Are you looking over? I'm like, did it?
So, okay, I get that it's like weird and terrible and wacky and weird, but the thing I think is really unique about you is that you just know how to build community. How has that been a thing that you have sort of wrapped your arms around in this moment? Because I see some of your Instagram posts, I'm like, you go, Erica. Yes.
I mean, you real see real. To say, and again, we talked about this, our meet cute, our love story is talk about the queen of building community. It is you, my friend. I mean, LinkedIn was our connecting of the dots. I saw you talking to everybody, and I was like, why do we know all the same people and we don't know each other? We need to fix that. Reached out, we had our cute lunch and talked about life and business and politics and taking over the world. And I was like, yeah, that's my person. We're gonna do some things, and here we are. Um, but truly, that's my MO. And I mean, I call myself a collector and connector of good people. And technically, my role is biz dev, for the company as chief relationship officer. It is literally my job to build community, to keep the people around our brand engaged, excited, make them evangelists, make them feel like they're part of this thing that we're building, whether they're clients, whether they're freelancers or vendor partners, et cetera, et cetera. But even just personally, I mean, that just is how I've always operated. I like to meet interesting people. I like to be able to pick up the phone and like either gift something, like I saw this opportunity that seems like it would be a fit for you, or you need to meet this person, or did you see that thing on the internet? It always makes me really happy to be able to leave those little breadcrumbs for people. And or I'm known amongst my friends and my circles. It's like, if you need something, call me. I'm always happy to help. Or if I know someone in my Rolodex, my contacts, that is that person, I got you. Like, let me know. And again, it's a funny it's a funny thing, because when I think about it, like it feels selfish in a good way to me, that I'm like, yeah, I just get to like hang with cool people.
Oh,
with good
that's the cool part
people.
about it. I mean,
But I think I personally, honestly, I think that's how everyone should operate, is like build the existence and the environment and the ecosystem that you want around you. Like, you're the only one responsible for the people that you keep around you. So you might as well be really excited and really proud of those people.
it's just like keep your circles cool.
Yeah.
That this is not. I am always amazed when folks are like, "Well, how do you know all these different people?" And like that don't make any sense whatsoever. Because it's very much it's like, huh? How do you know that
Yeah.
and that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I
Because
do.
why would you not? And I think this is how you and I are similar, where, I know some people operate where they're like, they keep their circles tight. I'm like, I have always intentionally kept my circles real freaking wide. Like, I want to meet everybody, and I want my friends to get with my friends. I'm not like, these are my work people and these are my hang out and do hobby people. I'm like, if you're the kind of human that will like each other and enjoy each other's company, like, you should meet and you should be friends, and then we can all be friends together. We can do things together. And I think that's the solution. That's the solve for world peace. We're gonna fix.
I always call it. I just sort of have the concentric circles of friends who sometimes mix and sometimes don't mix, because again, very often I'm the sun, so like they all reflect to me, and
I
so
know.
like, they all meant, sometimes if they all met together they would be cool. Other times I'm like, oh no, like because I know some of you are like a little prickly, like I love you, but like if I put you out in polite company, oh god, we'll be concerned.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is that is so important again as we are going through unprecedented times,
Yeah.
is the value of what community can bring and the uniqueness that we can all bring together. And I think that's the thing that's so magical about what you do. And thinking about the magic that you do and how you've been able to do things, like what do you think has been your moment of reset?
Oh my goodness. I don't know that I have had it yet, to be very honest. So when you brought this up, I've been pondering. And again, in full transparency, I am looking into my crystal ball, into the future, and looking forward to a near future reset. Like, I think there just is a moment to shake the table, to, I don't know, just to kind of reshape what my day to day looks like, what I get to contribute, either both professionally, personally, where those things overlap. So particularly, you named it, in these unprecedented times, so much of what I'm looking to reset and re-architect is how to really, really, really use my skill set, my network for positive change, whether that's here in New York City, which I have so much heart for this city, or if it's on a more national level. I just feel like the lures of the world and the people that you and I share in common that are so powerful and so caring and so intentional. I think that there's something to be harnessed. I don't know what it is yet. I don't have the clear through line yet, but I just feel really confident that there's something perculating that's going to happen.
I feel like it's going to be Erica Taylor Haskins for president one
Oh,
day.
girl, no, I hope not.
I mean, I know it can't be me. So, like, hey, let's
let it be some Black woman soon, but it can't be me.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we please. Although we'll have to fix so much mess. Oh, good Lord. What else is new? It is what it is. But no, I think that's a really thoughtful way of looking at it, because, and I reframed this question for this year, especially because I feel like we all are in this unique season of like, are we resetting? Are we recalibrating? Has it come, and has it come, or is it yet to come?
Yeah.
Each of us is a question that we're all kind of pondering. And I think at this moment, it's okay to be like, this might have been reset number 1.
Yeah.
Yet, or this might be reset of 4. That's going to hit the different points in my universe, and that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Acknowledging that it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. To add one note there, I mean, I talked about forward thinking and, rolling up my sleeves, getting to work. But the other very important reset that I have been so vocal about and encouraging so many of the high performing women in my life to do, looking at the screen at you, Laura, is to make sure that we're resting as much as possible. Because when you've been doing this and running, I always say running a marathon in heels and making it look really good for a long time, we all deserve to take off the heels and sit and stare at the ocean for at least a beat and rest, so that we can then actually recharge and reset.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's been my biggest change, even though I'm busier than ever.
Working on it.
Like, it's
on the to-do list to rest.
Yes. It's on a to-do list. I swear it is. I mean, someone asked me the other day how many jobs I currently have, and I was like, don't ask me that. A few. But the thing is, I think the rest part of it, I think the rest is in the reset.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because I think when you take that moment to really begin to reset, and again, it doesn't have to be official. It can be like, you know what? I've been doing this thing that's not good for me. So, we're not going to do that anymore. That's a reset. And I know I've done a few of those where I was like, well, that isn't really helpful. So I'm not do that anymore. So,
so often we need that rest time to even have the space to dream.
See it.
Imagine what could be.
Yeah. I mean, it can literally be a one really good night's sleep. Like I did that back in November when I was out of town for something, and I had all these plans for the day that I was supposed to have, and then it rained, so I couldn't do anything. So I was like, I'm just gonna hang here at the hotel and go for I'm having a nap in the middle of the day. I didn't know that was a thing.
I love that for you.
Okay, because also I'm about to do a million things in like 6 weeks, so it was actually quite good that I did that. So the rest is actually very intentional, and so necessary. And I think it kind of dovetails into my next question: is that knowing what you know now, what do you think you tell 18-year-old Erica?
Oh my goodness. I do think about this often. It's one of my favorite journal prompts. So I have a laundry list of things, but in this moment, two things. And again, I said this to one of my mentees recently, is especially when you're young and you have energy, you still have responsibilities, but not big adulting responsibilities. Say yes to as much as feels good to say yes to, but then know when to say no. So by that, I mean, don't be scared of opportunities or whatever presents itself. I believe strongly in synchronicities. So if you meet someone or you come across something or you just feel it in your bones that like, I don't quite know what this means for me, but I'm gonna try it. And it might be awesome. It might suck and I'll move on to the next thing. But just say yes, lean into opportunities, try things out, kind of exercise different muscles that you don't usually use. But if you feel it in your gut and in your intuition that like this ain't for me, this is not for me, it's okay to say no, cut it off before it gets too late and becomes the bad thing. That's one. Number two, particularly for Black women in the workspace, is don't be afraid to shine and be yourself. And by that, I mean, of course, showing up with polish, being professional, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I strongly believe whether you're working in a creative field like us or to some extent, if you are walking into Goldman Sachs, go with your hair the way that you want your hair to look, wear what you want to wear, have your nails the way that you want your nails to be. And that means you have to be that much better, be so good that they can't say nothing about it. So again, like earlier in my career, I was very like in the box and safe. And I was like, I'm going to be like professional Black Barbie, but it didn't feel like me.
Also, it didn't work.
It felt like cosplay, like corporate cosplay. Right. So, I think you get to a point where you're just like, this is how I want to show up. And I know that I'm good. I know what I'm talking about. And they're going to have to get used to this is how I show up. And you know what? They're going to like it. They like the sauce. They're going to like it.
The sauce. I mean, they're paying for the sauce. Like
Yeah.
it seeps through your pores.
Yeah.
I think that's a thing that we in our now older bucket realize. This is like season. We call it season. Like that. It's what it is. It just is what it is. I mean, all the things that I thought were quirky and nerdy about me, now people pay money for.
Exactly.
That is my dichotomy of that. I love Louboutins and Marvel comes in really handy.
They love it. They eat it up.
They eat that stuff up. And but I think it's also, again, understanding how far the sauce can go when you're first there. Like, we will not be in like full partition mode on day one at the office. That's not.
Maybe
we can do like this
fine dance.
Like, it does his child first before you were like extra Beyonce.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, the nuance there too is I've always find it really helpful to find whoever the grown-up version of you is, and that might be in your workplace, it might be outside of your workplace if you are the only one. But look to them and kind of see how they show up and how far they push it and like what is it about them that people respect and respond to and model, not to imitate it, but to model after that. Because I know for sure in my life, like there's been people that I'm like, they are unapologetic, they know their shit, they've got, people honor them, they've got great accolades. So if I can be in that harmony, follow that choreography, I know I'm good.
Yeah, it is very much, again, listen, learn, but also take the chance to find, who that mentor or mentee will be. Like I have a very wide like room of mentees who work in unique fields, and but I give them the same advice about like, you can be yourself, but also like understand the world you're playing in. Like not everything is going to be awesome and sunshine because you are growing up this way. Discernment is the key for all of this. And thinking about discernment and what you want to be able to think about, what's one thing you're really grateful for, Erica?
Oh my goodness. I am in this moment, January 2026, I am very, very grateful for the community that I have built around me. To come back to this, when things are really hard and we're in this weird whiplash of, seeing the news, seeing current events that are so heavy and weigh on you, and then having to kind of like log onto a Zoom and turn it on and like, do the thing. Da, 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 da. I've really leaned into being able to have very real talk and honest, vulnerable conversations about how I'm feeling, what pains me, what brings me joy with my friends and loved ones, and just being able to really be so raw and unfiltered there. And again, I've been thinking about this a lot recently. There are people like that in my life that I've known for decades that play that role. But I've been introduced to people this year, and you are certainly one of them, that in the last year that I'm like, it feels like I've known these people for a long time. Like it's been 9 months, 10 months in some cases. But to be able to just show up in a space and be held and seen and understood and supported is really, really, really special. And I know not everyone has that. So I don't take it for granted to just be able to exist and be appreciated. Not because I'm doing anything for anyone or giving something or like making deliverable. It's
Not hitting all your goals and KPIs. Oh no.
yeah, then
KPIs
okay,
are happening now.
no.
Oh, okay. All right. If you say so. All right.
Just metric just is to exist, and that feels really, really necessary and medicinal right now.
It does. I think, and I think that's a great way of framing the moment of gratitude that we're all in. I think that there's so much richness in whatever that community looks like,
Yeah.
and how it molds and forms in all manner of ways is so necessary. And I think, as we are going through these times, you realize how important that is, and then you also see what happens when you don't have that. Like we are living through what happens when no one hugged you or slapped you across the face.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think a lot of problems.
When no one said they were proud of you, you're good enough.
Like you were good enough. That little Lego thing you made was awesome.
Yeah.
And had someone just done that,
Yeah.
lots of good things probably would have happened.
Yeah.
But even so, I think it's this moment of, yeah, all right, well, things are weird, but we're gonna get through it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, the asterisk there, part of my community that I'm very proud of, speaking of being proud of little ones, is my son, who is about a year and a half. And he's long awaited and very special. And I, again, find it to be an extremely important responsibility to raise a good man, because this world needs that. More good men that were held and told that they're nice and special and kind and to take care of other people.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. It's not hard.
It's all you need to do. It really is all you need to do. Not hard. But apparently a lot of folks, it goes to the experience. It goes to the lived experience of like being a good person doesn't require a lot. It really doesn't. Like it starts with one little step, one little pebble. And even if you were a bad person, like I saw something recently with someone who was bad for a really long time and now is trying to do everything he possibly can to undo the damage.
Yeah, doesn't have to be your identity and who you are.
People can change, and you can accept people for change. You can also meet them where they are.
Yeah.
And I think, look, we've never been more connected as a society, and we've never been more disconnected as a society. We are walking in dichotomy, and so you can make the choice to either be like, I know how I can connect to people, or I can just break all the chains that and just be out here as an army of one.
Yeah. And I will say, I mean, something that I read, I always like to be like, I read in a book. It was on Instagram, but
it was probably Instagram.
I read in a novel.
Got a lot of good advice on Instagram.
Was, just the idea of treating everyone one of two ways: either like someone has lost their dog, or treat someone like it's their birthday. However that translates to you, but just being treating everyone that you interact with like they're either having a real bad day or they could have a really great day, and you have to be part of that. You're a character in the plot of this day. So how do you move the plot line? Are you going to be the person that like really rains on the parade and makes things awful? Or are you part of the birthday parade, you know?
I like that. It was someone's birthday or they lost their dog. All right.
Yeah. Just really softens, I don't know, just really softens the way you interact with people and go about the world.
Yeah, there's 1,000 stories on every street corner.
Yeah.
And like, because someone was explaining to me, she met some very, very wealthy people. And she's like, I don't even know how that's possible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you have to understand that in New York, especially, if you're standing at a crosswalk, it's a four-way crosswalk, left, right, up, down. There are 1,000 stories as to why people are standing at that exact moment right now. And are you going to choose to essentially smile and keep it moving, or be difficult?
Yeah.
Because it can unlock all manner of things. So
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, so the last question for you, Lady Erica, is do you have a give and or an ask of the audience? So this can be anything. So it can literally be give, here's a great book, ask, here's a good thing you should donate to. Anyway, you can do both. You can do both.
Okay, I'll do both. My give, as you know, I'm very active on LinkedIn, and I do love to connect with people to build my network, but I don't just connect with people out of the blue, because if someone says like, how do you know this person? I don't want to be like, I don't actually know that person. So I do invite people to, well, no, because we had connecting points. I was like, we have so many friends in common. We do the same thing. We had a reason. But I said, I was like, and we have to meet for lunch that we actually are friends. So there's a whole thing. There's an MO. But I do invite people to reach out and connect. And again, whether it's a quick Zoom conversation, if you want to swing through Brooklyn and have a coffee, we can do that. But again, however, we can just have a conversation to help do this and build community. My ask, I'm going to say, can I have 2 asks? Come on, 2 asks. Okay.
America, yes. You have 2 asks. Go for it.
All right. My first ask, as I mentioned, my company, Tinsel Experiential. We're in a big season of growth, so I am particularly interested in connecting with brand side decision makers who are exploring new partners for activations, campaigns, events, especially in the tech space, CPG, beauty. Connect me. I love it. Thank you. Great. My second ask is I am very, 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 and will be for life, involved in the Jackie Robinson Foundation, which is a scholarship program for high achieving, mostly Black and Brown students nationwide. They're always looking for financial support to be able to help support other scholars, to help the program continue to expand, and of course, the museum footprint downtown. So if anyone has the means and the interest, to please go to jackiebobinson.org and donate 42 in honor of our namesake, Jackie Robinson's jersey number 42. Thank you. That's it. Always a plug. Always a plug.
We love a plug. And we'll put those in the show notes so folks can see, donate to Jackie Robinson Foundation, but also connect with you.
To me. Donate to my email, please.
I'll be like, lot of LinkedIn. Erica, obviously, we can keep on chatting for hours. And thank you so much. I'm so glad we got to have you on the podcast, especially for 29 Days of Magic, because you literally are like a walking mythical elf of goodness. I am so delighted that you randomly hit me on LinkedIn, and then we had our 3-hour lunch, and I was like, okay. For all the fun things that we have been able to build in less than a year. Has it been a year?
No, not our anniversary yet. It's not our anniversary.
Not our anniversary yet. But it is part of the reason I decided to do 29 this year as well, was because you reminded me. I was like, oh, yeah.
It's time.
But more importantly, it's just that we just have to keep sharing our stories, and again, showing all the roads and pathways that we can take to being how awesome we can be. So
Yeah.
I am eminently grateful for you. So thanks for being on the podcast, my friend.
That's my honor. Thank you so much. I love you and I honor you. I'm grateful for you. I tell you all the time, you're one of my favorite people I've ever met. So I'm always here. I'm always grateful to be at the table with you.
Well, thank you, my friend.
At the bar with you. At the table.
This is awesome. And that's our show.
The Regency era. You might know it as the time when Bridgerton takes place, or the time when Jane Austen wrote her books. But the Regency era was also an explosive time of social change, sex scandals, and maybe the worst king in British history. And on the Vulgar History podcast, we're going to be looking at the balls, the gowns, and all the scandal of the Regency era. Vulgar History is a women's history podcast, and our Regency era series will be focusing on the most rebellious women of this time. That includes Jane Austen herself, who is maybe more radical than you might have thought. We'll also be talking about queer icons like Anne Lister, scientists like Mary Anning and Ada Lovelace, as well as other scandalous actresses, royal mistresses, rebellious princesses, and other lesser-known figures who made history happen in England in the Regency era. Listen to Vulgar History wherever you get podcasts.
The world of Sonic the Hedgehog has been thrust into a not-so-dark, not-so-stormy hard-boiled detective story that probably nobody saw coming. Follow Sonic and the intrepid Chaotix Detective Agency as they take on their biggest case yet. This high-flying, action-packed adventure will take them across the world, fighting for every clue they can find. It's one heck of a tale, which is good, because this story might be the only thing that can save their lives.
Well, if that's all, I can just dispose of you.
Wait, what?
All will be revealed in Sonic the Hedgehog presents The Chaotix Case Files. Listen now, wherever you get your podcasts.
The Chaotix are on the case.